In this video, we are going to see how to add registration details of WebinarKit to Slack. So let's say you're using WebinarKit as an auto webinar solution and you want that every time there is a new registration, these details should be shared with your team on Slack, which is an instant social messaging app. This can be done by integrating these two applications where you can use Pabbly Connect software. This entire thing can be automated. Here your trigger application would be WebinarKit and your action application would be Slack. Now how you can do this yourself, for that let me take you to my screen. To begin the process, the first thing we have to do is we have to type the URL pabbly.com/connect, and as we do that, it will take us to the landing page of the software. Here on the right hand side, you can see two options, sign in and sign up for free. If you are an existing user, you can simply sign in. If you are a new user, then you will have to sign up for free. Now, this will not take more than 2 minutes, and at the time of account creation, you will get 100 free tasks. Now, since I'm an existing user, I'm simply going to click on sign in, and now this will take me to the all apps page. Here, since we are doing this integration using Pabbly Connect software, let's click on access now. And now it has taken us to the dashboard of this application. On the right hand side, you can see another tab, create workflow. I'm going to click on this, and as soon as I do that, a dialog box appears which is asking us to name our workflow. So here I want that every time there's a new registration through WebinarKit, so this particular information should be shared with my team on Slack. So I'm going to write WebinarKit to Slack integration and then click on create. Now this has taken us to this window which has got two very important features. One is trigger, another one is action. Triggers and actions are those two principles or concepts on which this entire automation works. Trigger is when this happens and action is do this. Basically, action is the response of the trigger that we run. Now here in this integration, in this particular integration, my trigger application would be WebinarKit. Let's click on this. And now the trigger event. Trigger event means this is the event which will make this workflow start. So here, trigger event would be new webinar registration. Now here you can see that we have received this webhook URL. So what is this webhook URL? This acts as a bridge to connect two applications. So here when we wish to connect WebinarKit and Pabbly Connect, so this is going to help us to do that. Now I'm going to copy this here and I have to follow these steps. So I have to log into my webinar account and then navigate to the webinar. So I'm going to show you. Let's go to the webinars. Now this is my webinar account and these are the webinars that I've already created. You can create your own webinar by clicking on new webinar. Now as I take you down here, we have demo Pabbly webinar. Now there is a drop down. Let's click on this and click on edit webinar. Once done, here you will have to go to the last option which is other. Let's click on this and let's scroll down. You can see webhooks under email and other integrations. I'm going to click on this and here I'm going to paste the URL. So once done, let's come down and save this. And once we have saved this, we'll again scroll down and click on complete. So here you can see webinar has been updated. Let's go back to Pabbly Connect, and here now it is asking to log into the application and do a test submission of record so that the data can be recorded here in the webhook response. So now we have to do a test submission, which means we have to do a mock registration. For that, let's go back to webinars. And first I'm going to show you the webinar that I have created. I'm going to click on edit webinar here. So if you wish, you can always paste a URL that you wish to for the webinar video. Then if you'll come to details, here you can see that the name of this webinar is Demo Pabbly Webinar and the title is Webinar New. Here again, this is 1.5 hours long. If I take you down here, so I have got a I've already added a webinar presenter and then add webinar dates. So here I wish it to be on 2022/8/29, which is 29th of August at 12 p.m. as per Asia Kolkata. You can also change this by clicking on this. And then if we go ahead here, you can design your registration form, and then we have live and finally other. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back, and here if I come here and go to get links, so this is the registration link. I'm going to click on this and now click on register now. So once done, here it is asking me for my name and email. Let's say my name is Dummy and the email is dummy@pabblytudes.com. And now the time. So here you can see that this is what we had selected. So I'm going to click on this and then register now. So as soon as we click on register now, we get a message, thanks for registering for the webinar, and I'm going to go back to Pabbly Connect to check if we have received the response. See, here we have received the response. The email address is this, then we have the first name, and if I go down, this is the date and time and day, and this is the URL of the WebinarKit. So we have received this information. Now what do we want? That this information should be shared with my team on Slack. For this, I'm going to choose another application here, and the application is Slack. Let's click on this, and then the action event would be to send a channel message. Now let's click on connect. As soon as we do that, here we can see that Pabbly Connect is asking to connect itself with a Slack account. For this, I'm going to click on add new connection and connect with Slack. Now here you have to select the token type. The token type is something which is important for this connection. It can be either user or bot. Basically, when you want to send a message which can contain a video or a URL or maybe an image or a PDF file, then you have to use user. So let's click on save, and now here it is going to ask me for permission to connect with the workspace. So let's click on allow, and here you can see that it has been authorized. Now if I come down here, it is asking me for the channel. I'm going to take you to my Slack account. See, this is my Slack account, and I already have created a channel here which is webinar details. You can create your own channel by clicking on add channels or by clicking on this plus icon. So now going back here, I'm going to select the channel as webinar details. Once done, here I have to write the message. So I'll write, hello team, these are the new registration details. So let's say name we have, so name, and let me correct this. Okay, now I'll have to map the data. What is mapping? Mapping means I already have received this information in my previous steps, and now I'm just going to retrieve this information. So I'm going to click on webinar now. So this is the first name, okay, dummy. So I'm going to take this, and then we have the email. So again, going here, we have this as the email, and then we have the time and date. So time and date, again, let's see. So here if I take you down, this is the time and date. Done. So basically this is the message which I want to share with my team on Slack. Once done, you can share an image URL and bot name, bot icon, etc. Now I'm going to click on save and send test request. As soon as I do this, I can see that I have received the API response, and here this is the message. Now I'm going to check if the integration has been successful. How would I get to know that? I'm going to check my Slack account, and yes, here you can see that dummy test has just now shared a message with me, hello team, these are the new registration details, and name, email address, time and date. So basically this means that this integration process has been successful, but we need to know if this is also possible and it is going to work in real time. So I'm going to go back to webinar, and here I'm again, going to get links and fill another registration form. So let's click on registration now. Again, this is 12 p.m. This time the first name will be testing123, and then we have the email address. So here the email address would be testing123@pabblytudes.com. pabbly.com and now click on register now. So we have received the thanks for registration message. Now what should happen? A message should be shared with my team on Slack. So let's go to Slack. And here you can see, hello team, these are the new registration details, and this time the name is testing123, the email address is here, and then time and date. Basically, this entire process is a success. Now let's go to Pabbly Connect and quickly understand what was the process. So here, trigger application was WebinarKit and the trigger event was new webinar registration, and then the action application was Slack and the action event was send channel message. That is it. I hope this is very much clear to you. In case you have any doubt or in case you have any suggestion or advice for us, you can always write to us. I hope this was helpful. To watch more such videos, you can always subscribe to our channel, which is there on YouTube. If you have any queries, you can write to us at forum.pabbly.com, and if you want to know our pricing plans, then you can visit us at this particular site. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe if you have liked this video.